Fire on the Bawb Blue Show. Welcome back to the Bawb Blue Show. Another episode of TBBS with just me, Neil D-A-W-G. Although Seth Dog may be joining us before we are all done. But if he checks this out ahead of time, he might not want to, because we're going to have a wild show. We have here a big old group from the Philadelphia Fire, starting with one of our offensive all-stars, Justin Rhines. What's happening, Justin?
What's going on, Neil?
Not much. Appreciate you joining in on the group. First time on the show. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
We will move on to somebody making his second appearance. Last time he was on the show, he was a member of the Indy Edge, but he's had two really successful seasons with the Philly Fire. My man, Nick Silver. What's happening, Nick?
What up, Big Neil Dog?
Been looking forward to this. I know I think your whole team wants to kind of talk about, but I know we're going to probably touch on some hot topics tonight. So
Yes,
always fun having you back. And then we're going to move on over to what I like to think of as the Camrie Hogwood household, putting up with Mr. Tyler Rodriguez. TY, welcome back. What's up, baby?
What's up? Last time I was on was a while ago.
It has been a minute. Honestly, I got to start watching how much I have you Rodriguez people on the show at all, because it stirs up all kinds of trouble. Have to go back and do other episodes. So don't be a trouble causer like your brother.
Yeah, we won't talk about the wool this episode.
Fair enough. Dakota Hogwood back in the house again. What's happening, Cody?
How are you?
Why you sound shy all of a sudden? What's up?
What? I said, what's up?
You're one of the most live when people are listening to beatball streams, like game streams, you're one of the most lively personalities on the sideline. Now you're like, hey, good to be here. Hey, Cody, I gotta ask, since it's so well known on the show, how are the three kids?
They're doing good, honestly.
Excellent.
I haven't seen them in a while, and I still don't remember the other two's name, but they're.
I haven't accused you of being anyone else's mother yet. I'll come up with two more eventually.
So I'm good.
In rounding out the group, we have our offensive and defensive all-star, one of the league's best new players, Mr. Casey Krouse. What's happening, Case?
What's up, Neil?
Your second time on the show this year, man. You're getting more and more popular.
Yes, sir. This
like
time
Eric.
I'm dad, so I have more talking time.
So I guess can we just let the cat out of the bag right out of the gate? Your big announcement. I mean, everybody's probably expecting it. Everybody here except for Nick Silver is joining the Gateway Archers. Is that accurate?
Wait.
Hell yeah.
Told you not to mention that. We gotta remove this post.
Yeah, we were trying to make a big show of it, like a gender reveal.
On three, you guys bullseye. 1, 2, 3.
On a serious note, hopefully, some of our knuckleheads might have taken that serious. On a serious note, though, the landscape of the top four certainly has changed over these last few days. Your team has been one of those top four teams. I had you guys ranked number 2 going into the World Series. What do you guys think about the moves that have been made so far? I'll start with you, Nick. Or not. Anybody else could jump in. You guys hear me?
He's shy. Don't mind him.
Actually, I thought my connection went out because all the sound went. So go ahead, Tyler, you, Cody, and Casey all chime in on that.
The top four, yeah, freaking. No, I'm keeping it clean. But yeah,
I put explicit up there. For if everybody doesn't know. Pretty much everybody here is drinking, so they got me drinking some Fireball tonight.
Oh, yeah.
They're over there, Tyler and Camrie's house drinking Fireball. We got
sponsorship Fireball.
I'm the sober one.
Nah, Justin's taking a break tonight also. So you guys are gonna be the grown-ups. When we get too far off track, you guys gotta reel us back in. But Tyler, Casey, and Dakota, man. Tyler, what are your thoughts on the changes that went on?
Well, I like it. Freaking, the Edge don't have a new roster every year, but freaking the top 14 will usually stay the same. And, until someone makes big moves like Gateway.
Right.
But this is the most fun I've had on a team, and it also is nice that it's competitive. Besides that, freaking, we'll get into some of the other stuff later because freaking in a certain game that I know Casey and I wanted to talk about at the series this past year.
Yeah. No, I plan to address all that.
Oh,
I made a promise to Nick like a month ago that you guys would be able to come on and share your thoughts.
Yeah, no
So,
time for this tonight, Neil.
I expected Casey to be fired up also without having talked to him. I saw Casey 3 different times at the World Series. The very first time, Casey, I don't know if you heard this or not, but when I ran into you on the elevator my first day there, I drew a total blank on who you were. Even though you said, "Hey, Dum Dum, it's Casey," and I'm just like in my own head, I'm like, Casey.
Yeah, I heard you on the show.
Yeah, it's like I don't know why whatever. I'd been in the hotel for like 3 minutes and I just was whatever in my own head, I guess. And then I see you the next day. I'm like, oh hey, cool, Casey, and you're like, yeah, fucking time limit. Climb out of the elevator. So that was our second meeting.
Yeah, I'm known as the calm one on the team.
Yeah, little known fact. We have a couple hotheads on here.
Fireball.
All of them behaved very well throughout the series. I was the one who got in trouble.
With
Cam.
the team or the league?
Wait, what, Neil?
With the team or the league?
Oh, well, the umpire.
Oh, the umpire. All right.
Yeah.
You get a warning? You get tossed?
I was about ready to throw some hands in the field for half a second.
He got a warning.
All right. It's surprising to me just thinking about how mouthy I was when I played. It's surprising to me I never got tossed from a game. In a championship game, the first time the Dawgs made the championship in '98, and we're losing to Austin. We lost the game like 12-8 ultimately, but we're behind and it's getting late and calls aren't going our way. And Seth had made a play that we all thought was an out, that they gave it a run. And I yelled at the umpire, who was the head umpire of the league at the time, Dan Tracy. I was like, man, if he was white, you would give that to him.
Oh.
For the record, I lost my cool. I do not believe Dan. Dan Tracy and I had a lot of issues between each other. We almost every coach's captain's meeting, we got in an argument about something I didn't agree with the way he was doing. But I never believed he was racist. I mean, we had issues, but I don't believe he was racist. I shouldn't have thrown that at him. That's not the kind of thing you should just loosely throw around. Luckily, he didn't hear it though. He came out like 2 batters later. He called a timeout, and he put both hands on my shoulders and stood right in my face during the game. I played right up front in the middle, so we're right in the middle of everybody. He's like, "You're lucky I didn't hear what they're saying you said, or your ass would be gone." He walked back to the plate. So it was pretty crazy. All right, before we go too far off track, Casey, man, what are your thoughts about some of the changes that have been made this week?
I mean, I was surprised. I heard some of them before they happened, but there was a couple I was surprised of. Mainly, I couldn't believe D. Smith left the Jets. That was pretty crazy. But I mean, my thoughts, and I think our teams is, I mean, it don't matter to us. We know we play our best game, we beat anyone, so we're not really worried about like in terms of where we stand. We're just out there to play the team we play in front of us that day.
Dakota, you have any thoughts?
Kind of think a lot like Casey, I guess. Like I was kind of most surprised about like the Jets break, like the Jets, D. Smith leaving the Jets.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
D. Smith leaving the Jets and everything, and like I feel like the change with like the Edge and everybody else like doesn't really matter as much. Like Casey said, we gonna play our game the way we play our game. Don't really matter who's on the field.
No, that's a good attitude to have. Justin, any thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just play our game. I remember when I first joined the team, we were winning games like 5-4. Like if we put up like 6-7 runs, it was good. Now we can put up 6 or 7 in an inning. So when we're playing our game and we're hitting the ball, I'm not really worried about anyone. And update, I did find some Jim Beam apple, so I am also drinking.
Yeah. I got
After
a shot of
saying-
Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, get it,
There we
Nick.
go.
It's in my fridge. It's in my fridge, but
Nice and ready for you.
I just got done working out like 10 minutes before we started
Even
this.
better.
So.
Good. It's a good muscle builder.
I see.
You need the
I
sugar
see.
on the
I
glucose.
see.
So Nick, I mean, you've been around for a while. You know how this league works, and you know how to size up rosters. Obviously, like the Jets taking the hits they did, and the Edge taking the hits that they did from their roster. I mean, I would think you guys see that as kind of opportunity, since you're a top 4 team that didn't lose anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we stay consistent in Philly, and as far as our team is built where we are, and we got some pieces to add, but as for the most part, we're consistent in what we do in Philly, and so I feel really bad for that you might see Gateway with the hottest bench in the league now, because you bring in 4 starters, and you got 4 starters with a squad that was already 10 or 12 deep, and now you got a 10 or 12 vying for 2 spots on the field, and that's to me that's unfair. That's an ugly way to try to go get a ring, with the series coming here to St. Louis. But it is what it is. We stay consistent, go play our game, and we can beat anybody in this league. So as far as San Antonio goes, for a team that came in with 8, that's crippling to them to lose 2. That's the reality that we might not. There's a possibility we won't see the Jets next year. And that's unfortunate that we're throwing money around like that in this league in order to do what we're doing. But it is what it is.
Well, I don't have a lot of insight on like what all has transpired for these things to happen. I haven't even asked around that much about it because in the end, it is what it is. It doesn't directly affect my life too much, other than talking about it on the show. But I do. I'm a fan of the Jets. I've got friends on that squad, and I think they've been a really good squad and gotten really close to a championship. And I hate to see them when they only had. I mean, they really played with 7 players this year to lose two like cornerstones.
Well, and Lupe went to the Houston, so that's 3.
No, I hadn't even heard that. I mean, I don't know. Lupe kind of jumps around. I don't know what motivates Lupe at this point in his career. So anything he does doesn't surprise me too much. I hadn't heard that. But I mean, he didn't play anything. Like I don't think they going into next year couldn't have counted on him anyways. They couldn't count on him this year. So I don't think that it hurts as much as the other 2. But also like what you started with, there's a flip side to, it's real exciting to see a squad add 4 players like that. Like, wow, like me, like I think kind of like a coach, and I especially around defense, so I start thinking about what to do with the defense if I had all those players. But the flip side of that is 4 starters are now going to become role players or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and on what was already a pretty good team. So
And St. Louis has talent. St. Louis has talent. Like we got athletes in St. Louis, and it's a slap in the face to what we do here in St. Louis. And to me, my boy, Liam, Demo, E-Money, those guys, Henry, Lowell, Kyle, Sean, Chad, those guys, that's to the bench they go, unless they step the game up, and that's unfortunate.
I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to figure that out. But I did see it as an opportunity both for yourselves and the Thunder. I guess before we get off this topic, what do you guys think about Aaron C. moving over to the Thunder?
I knew that was coming.
Neil, we were trying to get his ass.
What, on the Fire?
That dude's gonna hit like a
We were
bomb a game
trying.
with Jared pitching to him.
Exactly. He's gonna have to bomb a game.
Which one plays defense, Aaron or G?
Joel does.
Oh shit.
Oh, gee.
Damn.
Like you said, they're gonna have to figure that out.
That's their kind of problems. You know?
Yeah,
let's worry about fire problems then. Since you're the first one, I said we come on talk about this, Nick. Man, I'm gonna let you initiate the conversation. But this is just a roundtable. I know you guys have feelings on what went on at the tournament with the time limits and that stuff. So we'll just have a little chat about it. And you guys are all free to jump in whenever. So I'll start with you, Nick. Man, what do you want to say about this last series?
I just think, man, we gotta really, tie up some of the loose ends when it comes to playing this game at a high level and not letting the little things get in the way. We came into the league, we came into the series without a policy on weather. There was no policy in place, and one was just kind of made up on the fly, and that policy affected the outcome. We played the edge as hard as anybody did the series, and we could have won that game, and yet it was stopped because of a lack of understanding of rules. When it comes to like the 12-run rule, nobody knew what the rule was. And then it came around, and we times up, and we were hot, and you gotta let games like that play out. It was hotter on Friday than it was on Thursday, and yet none of the games on Friday were stopped. So I just think we gotta do better as a league when it comes to playing in these hot environments. We're gonna play around the world. We're not gonna find one site to play at, and we gotta do better with our policies.
I don't, and I'm not really defending it because I don't know exactly what all went on, but I don't believe that they just decided to come up with this, the weather policy. It was thrown at them from the city in the moment. I don't think anybody on the tournament committee knew ahead of time. And these weather policies, like Seth was saying when we talked about it at first on the show, like he deals with that as a youth football coach. And it's all new. They have new requirements now on how long people can play without a hydration break, whatever, and stoppages if the heat reaches a certain point. I don't know what that number was for the World Series, and go ahead.
We didn't have that. I know from someone who was in the room. We didn't have a number. We didn't have a policy. We had nothing. We walked in with nothing. The city had a policy, but as far as league, we had nothing. And we've been playing these high climbers for years. This ain't new. I've been playing beat ball for 10 years now, and I hear about when you guys played in Austin, which was atrocious. But the fact is there was no number, there was no nothing. And even when there was a number that was, presented, we didn't stick to that number. I suffered heat exhaustion on Friday, and I know it's hot,
Yeah.
So
No, and the number I heard kind of loosely thrown around is 107, but I've never gotten confirmation on whether that's temperature or heat index. So
it was 110. It was 110 in the Thunder game. So I mean, like I said, it's neither here nor there. But we just could have done better and not let the crucial games, be affected by time and
No, I agree. I've said at least once on the show that I feel like the tournament committee has to be proactive going into not just like St. Charles next year, but any World Series, and find out what kind of rules the cities go by, and what could get our games shut down like they were in Norman. And I feel like they have to plan around that ahead of time. It's too disruptive. Like the tournament committee tries getting the host city to set up volunteers, a year to 2 years ahead of time, so that they have 100 volunteers or more on the premises at all times between like 7 and 5 o'clock. So when games get canceled at 2 o'clock and moved to 8 o'clock, it's too disruptive. You can't expect a block of 100 volunteers to be available at 8 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock the following morning. So that's all stuff I believe now. I do trust that they got hit with it for the first time, and I do give give everything a pass when you're going through it the first time because you don't know what you don't know until you go through it. But they, in my opinion, have to be proactive about it every World Series going forward.
When you say the first time, though, what do you mean first time? Because at Beaumont, we had
first time of a city coming to them and saying, we have to shut you down. The city of Norman said, you guys can't play anymore because of the heat. Where they have city rules that they are mandates. What they are, I don't know exactly, but they have mandates for when the heat reaches a certain point. If you're on like a city facility, they can shut it down. It was Norman that shut it down, not the World Series, not the MBBA. Now, what guidelines Norman gave the MBBA and why things were inconsistent Thursday and Friday, whatever, that only the MBBA can answer that. I don't have those answers. There should have been consistency. You should have known what to expect coming out of the coaches captains meeting on Wednesday. But why it wasn't consistent, I can't answer to that. Maybe I need to invite, like Jerry and Cassie to come on and see if they can clear some of that stuff up. Casey, I know you had some thoughts on the whole thing. You want to jump in?
A little bit. Yeah, no, look, I'll say on the front end, look, it's no excuse because we had our chances in the second-hand tournament. In the losers bracket of the tournament, we didn't take care of business. But we were definitely frustrated because we caught the short end of those time limits. It was a little, like, we totally understand. It was the city that told us to stop playing. It wasn't MBBA. However, the only games they decided to put a time limit on was the two most important games up to that point, us and then the Thunder versus the Jets. Unfortunately, their game went 6. We only got to 4. And like I said, our whole team, both teams, whether they want to admit or not, everyone on that field knew that day. By the time that game was called, there was one team that was going to win if we played 6. And there was one team that was wasting time at the end when we got to the end. So we weren't really happy about that. But like I said, we were more mad that they cut that game short. We could live with it. But then the next day we played 2 straight 4-hour games with no time limit, just dead tired by the end of the day. And there was no thought to that. But in the most important game of our season, we had to cut it short and we had all the momentum in the world. And then all of a sudden balls started getting dropped on purpose so we can make sure we got to the time limit. And not to mention the hydration breaks were counted in the time limit. So we're taking extra time on our hydration breaks. We're calling over Jason to look over something and that counted towards the time limit. So like I said, we didn't take care of business and we had our chance against the Thunder. We didn't take care of business, so it's no excuse, but we definitely know that if we had played 6 innings, that would have been a different result for that game.
In addition to them including the hydration breaks into that time limit, it was inconsistent on how different umpires were even timing it. I know I listened to one live stream in my room at the hotel where the hydration break went over 10 minutes. And that's counting against the 2-hour and 15-minute time limit. It's like, where's the umpire? Why isn't there somebody taking some initiative here to force this game in or whatever? So definitely things were a little sloppy out there. Any thoughts from anybody else? Justin?
No.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. If you're gonna jump
Go
in.
ahead, Tyler.
Oh, yeah. I had some stuff to say, too.
Sure.
First off, man, my first at-bat, I smacked that ball, and I was so upset. I took one wrong step the wrong way, and then freaking Corey White gets 2 putouts the entire series, happens to fall and accidentally make a putout. I was like, what? I was like, God damn. But anywho.
He said he accidentally made a putout.
And that was the first.
Yeah, I just finally established a good relationship with Corey White. Now you're on here getting them all upset.
Oh no, he'll respond next time he's on. He can talk shit back. I'm just talking with him. But
you're good.
The other thing is, I don't know what Kyle Kennedy was doing. Like Casey was saying, like Braden, he was a catcher. My brother, he was a catcher. He just started missing every ball. Kyle must have been throwing some knuckleballs to him or something because he can having 8 strikeouts out of like 10 batters or whatever. I don't remember. And I'm only saying this because the man was talking shit to me in the field. And then as soon as he starts talking shit, bam, 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 clears 2 sides. So I'm like, all right, you can talk whatever shit you want.
Justin, any thoughts?
I'm kind of amazed that this hasn't happened in years past. I've only been in the league since 2018, but I know tournaments or World Series have been in the South a lot, and just kind of amazed that issues with the heat and games getting delayed or pushed back or having a time limit. I'm just amazed it's never happened before. But yeah, no, games having a time limit kind of sucked. It is what it is. Whether the result would have been different, no idea. But I know us versus the Edge definitely would have been game of the year if that won 6. I kind of wish that maybe the winners bracket didn't have a time limit and everyone else did to get games moving. But, like I said, it is what it is, and kind of move on.
Just like for the record, even though it's never been an issue, I guess, because of weather that I remember, but there have been tournaments where they enforced like a 2-hour time limit. We didn't have back in the day, we didn't have hydration breaks and all that stuff, but they forced. I know that it's happened rarely, and it hasn't happened in a long time. The one that really stands out to me was in 1989. So it's not common, but there have been time limits forced in before. What's that? I'm an old man, TY. Will you just realize that?
I was like -11.
Yeah, Neil, dog, they weren't even alive then.
I wasn't in my daddy's eye.
I learned about this game in '86 and was playing in '87 for the first time.
Gatorade even invented that?
They just drank dirt.
You might hear funny, everybody complains about bases or whatever. When we started our team here in Sacramento, the Thrashers, that team only made it to one World Series in '93, but back in the late 80s and early 90s, well, back all the way through the 80s and early 90s, there was a league here in California, and usually only had like 4 teams, but sometimes as many as 6. When we started the Thrashers in '86, we didn't have any bases. Well, we had bases, we had no electronics. And at one base, we had like those orange cones they put out on the road or whatever. We had like one of those that had a buzzer on it, and we'd sit down on top of the one base. And we had a volunteer at the other base with a spoon and a pie pan, banging the pie pan for us to run at that base. Those are our bases.
Hell
Here these people complain. You guys got no idea what it's like roughing it.
Here, boy.
That's hilarious.
Any other thoughts on this past World Series and the weather stuff, your frustrations?
No, it was a good World Series. It was fun. I like the hotel.
Yeah, best hotel ever.
In my opinion. With cheese tacos, man, that taco spot or John, whatever it's called.
The only thing I'll say is if we're gonna keep having tournaments in like the hottest place on earth in the middle of the dead summer, we got to come up with these weather rules beforehand so we know what to do. Like, we don't have to have it in Satan's armpit every winter. Like, we go to Indy. SoCal's got a team now. I'm pretty sure everyone in the league would love to go to SoCal for a little week in the summer.
Didn't we have like a cooling thing, like a whole big building we could go in and cool off in Beaumont? Like, we need to make sure we find somewhere that has that type of thing available to us.
Yeah.
Every city, go ahead.
Every city has those cooling tents available. They definitely are around. So.
What about the cooling fans that Blake was so proud of last year?
Oh man, those things.
In the end, the tournament can only go to cities that are willing to host the World Series. I mean, it's a pretty big undertaking to host our event. I know I talked to Nick a little bit about this privately, but as far as like recruiting volunteers, like, we're a tough tournament because a lot of events that cities host are like just weekend events, and we're there Tuesday through Friday needing volunteers at times when people are normally at work. So I mean, we're already kind of an unusual tournament for cities as far as recruiting that stuff. But we also, because we asked for low hotel rates, trying to keep it as close to $100 as possible. Places like Southern California aren't that attracted to our tournament because they, without any trouble, like we get rates in the places that we go to because they're places nobody wants to go to in August. You know, that's the only reason we're getting those hotel rates. In Los Angeles, everybody's going there in August. We're not going to get a hotel rate lower than 150 a night. Not to mention like just going out and having a meal instead of costing $10 or $15 go cost you $25 or $30. So I mean the expense, I mean West Palm Beach is maybe the biggest market we've gone to of late, and a lot of people came out of there complaining about how expensive it was. So I totally feel what you guys are saying on like choice places where you'd like to go, but not all those choice places consider our event like a good event for them.
Oh, believe me, when I say SoCal, I was kidding. I just meant if we know we're going to these hot places and like you said, this is the first time this happened, so I give them a pass. But going forward, if we know we're going to a place like Norman, Oklahoma, where it's going to be 100, we better have stuff in place ahead of time so we're prepared going forward. Like this year, understandable. But like SoCal, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we never going to be able to afford that.
No, I do agree. I agree with you, and I take it further. I don't care if it's just a place that's normally like blistering hot. I think we need to know the rules everywhere we go. It doesn't matter, you know what I mean? We just need to be prepared for it not disrupting the tournament ahead of time. You were trying to say something, Tyler? Yeah, but it went away.
Yeah.
I just feel like we need, I know Minnesota made a push to get beat ball to be there every year back in the day or whatever, and that was voted down by the league because people wanted to travel. And we're now seeing that hasn't been very fruitful for growing the game, for all the things that people want to do. And a lot of times, it's gonna be here in St. Louis for 2 years, so I may be a little biased, but I think St. Louis is gonna do it the right way and do it the way that people expect it to be done. And if St. Louis becomes a permanent home for beat ball, I won't be disappointed. But we just all want it done right every year. We just want it done right and done, where it's pretty effortless, and on the field we gotta just play ball.
Sure. I haven't been on the tournament committee for like 6 years, but the last year I was on the tournament committee, Rochester, Minnesota was putting in a bid, not for a permanent home, but they're putting in a bid, but their hotel rates. The last time they bid, well, if they bid since then, I don't know about it. But when they were bidding in 2017, their hotel rates had jumped to 149, and because of the size of our tournament, they were going to have to host it at 2 different locations. So we kind of outgrew Rochester, even though I know it's like a good like climate and people enjoy that climate. But we kind of outgrew them, and for whatever reason, their hotel rates shot way up. I'm not at all. Even though years ago I was kind of against the location just being one place every year. I'm not against that anymore, but I am in favor if it's. We have to go to a city first before we can give it a long-term bid. We have to know they could provide our volunteers. We have to know it's just going to work, because we think ahead of time some are going to work great and they don't work great. We can't always, especially when we go to a new city, we can't always depend. They don't always come through with the volunteers. And why some cities are great at it and some are terrible at it, I'm not sure, but we don't know ahead of time, which ones are going to come through or not until we finally give them a tournament and go there. But I thought when you were on the show a couple years ago, we talked about this, and I thought you made good points about the benefits of having the tournament at one location, and I've kind of turned on that, and I could see the benefits of it too. But I don't want to just give it to a city that's never done it before. We got to see that they can give it to us first.
Yeah, I don't mean give it to anybody, just any Joe Schmo, but when you develop that relationship, you have leverage, and when you have leverage, you then are able to, really make the tournament, better and better every year, and really build from that, in my opinion. And so, you look like Little League. Little League today is as good as it's ever been, and the reason why is because it's been in Williamsport forever. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, you were part of the reason that I changed on that whole thing before, and I have no like inside information. This is just a total gut thing, but my gut feeling is that if St. Charles does a good job over the next couple years that they certainly would be in the running. We got to see how it plays out. Does anybody else have thoughts on the tournament, whether you like it moving around or staying in one spot?
I'd like it kind of like regional. So like maybe rotate every year, like have set places, but like one in Texas because there's a lot of teams there, one in the Midwest, one in the Northeast.
I got you. Kind of move around every third year or whatever.
And that way teams in that region don't have to fly. They can drive and save on travel costs every third year as well. And then as we get more out west with SoCal, add a fourth location out there too.
Neil.
Yeah.
What about defending champion hosts every year?
I mean, that's not something that you could count on being good, though. You know, not every host is going to be a good host. I don't like giving it to a city just because they are able to win a championship. Doesn't mean they'd be a good host.
He's just biased from Indy, so he had it 5
years.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So what? It's been 8 years. Has been won by Indy.
Something they did back in, I want to say it was like 1985, maybe 86.
Best year.
They had the top 4 teams, either from the 84 team had a tournament in 85 with just the top 4 teams. Again, it was either the top 4 teams from 85 did it in 86 or the top 4 teams from 84 had that tournament in 1985. But, you know, as a new player hearing about that, I always thought that was dope. Having like the top 4 teams get to play a little regional tournament against each other. You guys are a top 4 team. Would that attract you guys?
I'm attracted to a lot of things.
Most of which we should not talk about on this show.
I think everyone should be able to go. If you can go, I mean, look at what Houston did this year. You take them out of the tournament like that, you don't get that upset. Like everyone should be able to come and you play the team in front of you. It don't matter. That's why we say every year everyone gets all bent out of shape about rankings. Who cares? Play who you play, and if you're better than them that day, you're gonna beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt that way. I mean, back, you know, for years when I played, you know, there was no rankings at all. The top 4 teams from the previous year would be assigned A through D, and everything else came out of a hat. They just drew names out of a hat to fill out the bracket. Sometimes you get 3 teams. Well, where it was a problem, because remember too, we used to have a championship bracket and a consolation bracket. And once you got knocked into the consolation bracket, you had no chance at the championship. If you went 1 and 2 in the round robin, you were in the consolation bracket, and that was your tournament was over on the first day in the round robin. But doing the blind draw like that, sometimes 2 or 3 of our 4 best, or 3 of our best teams in the whole league would be in one bracket. Automatically, one of them would have to go to the consolation bracket.
Like so in 2017, I think it was the year Taiwan came back. They faced the Jets. I think it was like the first game of the series, and like I think Jets were like probably like 4th that year, and Taiwan came in 2nd. And like you can't have 2 versus 4 first game. And I think Taiwan beat the Jets. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Too far.
No,
back.
the Jets didn't start until
2016 was their first year, I think.
Okay.
I think they went 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
I know Taiwan came in the one year in Rochester, New York, and we were the Extreme, and that was our first game because the Taiwan that came in and they paid their money last, which means they got put at the bottom, and we played them first.
I agree with what Casey said though. Like I always had the attitude of like if I believed in my product that I was part of, that just put us on the field. We'll figure out the rest. No, I don't care where people put us, what people think. Just put us on the field. We'll show you what we are. And that was always my attitude. We made the championship game like from 98 until 03. And then we weren't able to go in 04, and then we came back in 05. So, we gave up our top 4 spot or whatever. We'd been seeding a bracket, that for years and gave up our top spot, but I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Whatever. Just let us get out there and play. We'll make our ranking. Nobody has to give us a ranking. We'll go out and make our ranking. That was
What year were polyballs?
The heavy year was 96, and that
Okay.
tournament was in Austin, and the fields were dry and fast, dude. We had a brand new pitcher who had never pitched at the World Series, man, and we were a defensive team, man. We got killed. That's the word. I didn't know this till this summer. Kevin Barrett sent my Hall of Fame nomination to me, and it talked about the teams I played on, and that year was the only year the Dawgs were like 500. I think we went 3-3 in that tournament or something like that. We lost a game in the round robin, and then whatever, 2 more in the rest of the tournament. But man, we just got smoked by Austin. Like, I think Austin scored like 20. We were the best defensive team in 95. And in the round robin in 96, Austin put up a 20 spot on us before we even made a put out in the first inning. It was an offensive tournament, and we had no offense. We had a brand new pitcher, man. It was rough. But yeah, those polyballs, like even at practice, because at practice I'm playing at 75 feet straight away, and they're hitting this polyball off of a tee, man, and I'm just ducking away from it. It's like, I don't give a shit. I'm not taking that polyball to the face.
I always had Ken's ears with a polyball.
Yeah, what the hell is a polyball?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, my bad too. I didn't even think about that. So
2,000 babies.
So you guys have seen our the core of a beat ball, that the material that it goes in is called kapok. It's some kind of bush that I know we used to buy them from like Haiti because it's some kind of bush that grows there. But that's why the balls get soft as they get beat on, because they're made out of like this kapok bush. But they were having problems. The Merrimack Valley then is who made the balls, and they were having a hard time buying the cores, so they had to buy these polyball cores, and they're polyurethane. They're like literally hard as a hard ball. And they only weighed, they were lighter, like a normal beat ball, 16 ounces. They only weighed 13 ounces. This ball was as hard as a hard ball. I'm not joking. And they weighed 13 ounces, and you could just zing those things, man. you knocked the crap out of those balls. They weren't safe. Like, I fought and fought. I was on the board. We could not use those polyballs at the World Series. They were crazy, but because they're having a hard time buying the K-pop balls, they were still in the mix when we hosted the World Series here in Sacramento in '99. So 96 of us all polyballs. That's all there were. It was rough.
Yeah, I ain't getting in the way of one of those.
I've never heard of that, to be honest.
No, it's a long time ago. 96.
Is this around the time of the telegraph machine?
Well, I only know about them because I heard about all the injuries that came from, and the fact that it's funny because I always said if I was a spotter back then, because I could see pretty well back then, but if I was a spotter back then, I would be like, instead of calling a number, I'd just be like, if I saw a ball going towards somebody's head, my call would just be duck because they were so dangerous.
No, in games I felt safe because my attitude was always that anything hit hard straight up the middle. When I played up the middle, eventually I played more in short right, but I played for years straight up the middle. It's like any line drive that could hurt me is going to hit the pitcher before it gets to me. So I felt safe most of the time. But at practice, hitting that polyball off the tee, man, I was running away from that shit. It's like, man, there are 5 people behind me. They could deal with that. I didn't want nothing to do with it, man.
Yeah, that's not my ball.
Someone else will get it.
Yeah. Click, bam, buy me.
Hey,
they buy me and move out. Yeah.
Neil, you look thirsty. Take a yeah. Oh, you're
That's
all
what I'm doing. I'm tipping it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's talk about the Fire, man. We've gone all over the place. I know you guys are disappointed. You guys are a competitive team. Nobody that's bidding for a championship is happy with 4th. How you guys got to feel good about your product overall, though. I'll start with you, Tyler. Like, what do you guys feel going forward? What needs to happen for you guys to take that next step?
Well, the only thing I think we need is Nick to pick up some more balls and deep right.
God, he let you down on defense?
No, he didn't let anybody down, but 1 and 2 more would have been nice. But no, I'm just kidding. We had a good year. Freaking, I think we had the #1 team average for offense. I know. We had 3 people hit over 700. Like I was close behind. Then John and Nick were at like high 600s as well. And like our lowest starter was like over 500, and that's with a second-year pitcher. But I think our biggest improvement this year was like with our pitcher Pat. Because I don't know if you saw the Heat game. We gave that man gave that man a chocolate chip muffin that day, and that man started. It's like he figured the shit out. I think what we put up like 42 on the Heat.
42, yep, 3 innings.
234.
And like I think the only outs were like I think most of like strikeouts and whatnot. Cause like we 12 ran the Heat twice.
Yep. 4
I
hours.
think Casey went like 8 for 9. I went 9 for 9. Justin went like 8 for 9. Scott, I don't know. It was good. It was a fun game, but that's the downside of having a 4-hour game. We went to and faced the Thunder and had another 4-hour game.
And my father got robbed of an all-star spot.
Yeah.
There's nothing that sounds good to me about a 4-hour game. That just makes me shake my head. I don't.
Back to back.
Neil, that's the game I almost got kicked out of. The Heat got to me for a second. Tanner ran into the field and kicked me in the butt, and I dropped the F-bomb with Mike Wooden being our ump, and everybody hopped on me so quick.
Listen here.
I was like, listen here, motherfucker. And like Mike Wooden ran into the field like, oh, we ain't having that. We ain't having it. My bad, y'all. I don't know.
All right, you got the power. Dakota, you've been around this fire team the longest, man. Where do you feel like you guys need to go to make that next step?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like we just gotta don't get into our heads. We don't get hot on the field, and just play the best we can. Just play the game like we know how to. We know what we're doing out there. I feel like, and especially with everything going on with a couple of the other teams, like I feel like definitely have a better shot of things. We just gotta keep practicing and do our thing.
Gotcha.
Make sure we pick up some balls out there. Move while we're out in the outfield fast. Actually, do some D. Don't get lazy out there in the field. We got to do our thing.
Casey.
Whoa.
Fuck you.
Come on. But
You guys definitely had the pieces to do your thing on defense. I like the way your team is kind of built and the way you're coming along defensively. Casey, you got any thoughts?
I mean, really, to be honest, I think the main thing is just stamina. The same thing we've improved from last year. We need to improve again. Last year, we were in the 4th place game and we got run out the gym as soon as we stepped on the field. Like it was 14-0 like that, and we were out of gas because we just weren't prepared for that. And then this year, we played the Thunder tough, and then we still ran out of gas a little bit at the end. Although I take a lot of responsibility for that game. That's why I love baseball. Baseball is any given day someone's going to beat you, and I played probably the worst game I played defensively against the Thunder. Got moved out of short left, moved to short right because I couldn't pick up a ball.
Yep.
So like there's like little things like that. Like I think if I had played better defensively, we might have been in a different spot. But you just gotta come back next year, and losing teaches you more than winning does. So you come back next year, we're gonna play our game. I know, speaking for myself, Tyler, our whole team being in our team group chat, everyone's been in the gym since the second the year ended. We're all getting ready. We're coming out next year. We ain't gonna be tired when Friday comes around.
I mean, I haven't, but
All right, kind of cover for you, dude.
I've been saying for a while, our tournament's a different animal. Playing a 5-day tournament where, especially if you go deep, coming up through the losers bracket, you could be playing 10, 11 games in a 5-day period to win your championship. I can remember saying this to the leaders of Taiwan back in like the late 90s. Like the one thing players I think take the longest to learn is what it takes to be able to play for 4 or 5 days. Preparing your body to be able to stick out that tournament, especially in the heat that we normally play in. Like that's there's a mental toughness you kind of got to develop to fight through all that.
Yep. I mean, I'm in the middle of marathon training right now, so I mean, I'm proud of these guys because they really are hitting the gym. Tyler's on the bike. Casey's got a gym workout that we're talking about. Justin and Megan. What happened?
I didn't hear. What did you say, Tyler?
Yeah, he was talking about Peloton. Whenever I hop on that bitch, like I'm getting like an A+ rating for it.
Yeah, he'd be on a mission. He'd be moving on the legs. He moves the legs on the Peloton bike faster than he do on the field. So we might have to give him a bike to hit a ball and hop on the bike and run to the base because it's funny him.
That's kind of cool though to see, like to hear you talk about Tyler putting in the extra work because you've been there and done that. You've played deep into the tournament.
It got me fat, so I got to work out more.
Homemade meals. That's what I'm fat.
I got fat on my neck, and there's a lot of factors that got to me having titties for a little bit.
Man, listen, as I got to meet a lot of people this summer, man, I hugged a lot of the players I hadn't been around in a while or ever met before, man. I'm a little disappointed with how many heavy players we got in this league. I was thinking, man, why am I sitting out? I'm in better shape than some of these fools.
Dude, I can be honest. The first time I saw you, I'm like, damn, he's in better shape than I thought a podcaster would be in.
That's funny.
Oh, when the 2XL is the first shirt to sell out, that should tell you.
Oh man, that is true.
Oh, that hurts, man. Justin, you got any thoughts on your fire going forward?
Yeah, I think stamina is a big thing. I think bringing along some of our bench pieces too, having more depth the first couple days to make sure everyone's fresh for the end of Thursday into Friday is going to be super important for next year.
I going back to like Tyler's comment, giving Pat Krouse credit. I mean, he's been much like Jeremy Lopez for being in his first couple years in the league. He's been so unbelievable as a pitcher for you guys. But what I really liked, and I think it shows a lot of like character and just whatever his whatever focus on getting better. I can't remember. I think it was, I guess, the Indy tournament. Is that the only tournament you guys played in, or did you guys go to the Gateway tournament?
We played in
Indy and Beast of the East.
Yeah, both legs of the Beast of the East.
Yeah, but I'm thinking. Actually, now I'm mixing. I think it was when you guys played the Edge. Is that when you guys like struggled in the 6th inning, or is that the Thunder?
The Thunder.
Thunder. Yeah, you guys lost
we
like 18-17, I think.
We played a solid 3-inning game and then left.
We went back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Miguel climbed the fence.
Yeah, I do remember now. You guys were up like 14-6 and let it go. But you guys still had a chance at the end. You guys had a chance at the end, and Pat had a rough 6th inning. And I remember talking about it on the show then. I mean, every pitcher's got to go through that. But the way he bounced back from that, the next tournament in the Beast of the East, he was solid, and all the way through the World Series, he was solid. So I thought that showed a lot of character as the pitcher of your team to bounce back from, like, a rough outing.
Trust me, he scolded him.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not on here, so as his son, I'll actually compliment him for once. But like, he leads our team with the mentality. Like the greatest thing about him was like we told him at the end of the series, we're like, Pat, you had an 85% contact rate, and he, instead of being happy, he was pissed because he said at the beginning of the year he wanted to be 90%, so he wasn't happy, and that was the same way the rest of our team was. Everyone kept coming up to us, like, "Oh, you guys played great. You were in fourth," and we're like, "Cool. We didn't want to be fourth. We were here to come in first." Like that's how.
Yeah.
No one's about our stats. We would have traded any awards any of our guys got to go get first. Like that's how our team is. There's no drama. There's no ego. Well, I mean, there's ego, but in a good way. And we're all here to play together as a team.
Hell yeah.
I used to have a towel. I used to have a towel that I got from school when I went to a blind school here in Missouri. It said nobody trains for second place. I had a towel for years.
Yeah. Not a lot of people appreciated it, but Seth and I, for years when we played, even if we got to the championship game and lost the championship game, we'd say we tied for last. And people, hey, how'd you do? We made it to the championship game, but we'd say we tied for last because that's the way we felt. That's
The old Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you last.
Yeah.
Shake and bake, baby.
Man, I don't have anything else to throw at you guys, but I always like to open the floor, see if there's anything that folks want to touch on before we check out.
Before we do this, take another drink.
No problem.
While he's taking a drink, because I just learned about it yesterday. I don't know if our team already knew. What does everyone think about the Fonzie ball rule for the World Series? I just learned about that.
I didn't know there was a Fonzie ball rule.
Yeah.
No, maybe I did. I was at the board meeting.
Well, the Fonzie ball gonna be the ball, right? Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
I'm never wrong.
I haven't. When did you hear that? I didn't hear that.
Equipment.
Yeah, the Fonzie. What do we think about the Fonzie ball being the ball? Because that was news to me yesterday.
As long as it beat, I don't give a shit.
Did that come out as official?
I don't know. I was told yesterday by my mother.
I'm for it.
Francis.
Well, unless something's changed since the board meeting. At the board meeting, they hadn't really made an official decision. There was a motion made to go 100% Fonzie ball, but it ended up being like amended. I don't even know if they ended up voting on that particular motion. The conversation kind of got out of hand at the time. But in the end, I don't think they're in a position as far as I know, they're planning to go kind of 50-50 at this point because I don't think they feel like Fonzie, I think, can only promise like 600 balls, and Denver put out like 1,100 balls last year. So even though there are a lot of people who were struggling getting their balls from Denver, there are also people who struggle getting balls from Fonzie, and 600 balls that's like 200 and something for the World Series, and then like I can't remember, like 11 or something. The number they had for per team was less than 20. It's like 15 balls per team. That's just not enough. Might be enough for some teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say we ran out of Denver balls in the losers bracket anyway, so that might not be enough.
Yeah, no, I don't think the NBBA has a choice right now because this is just my opinion, just speaking off the cuff. Neither Fonzie or Denver can guarantee everybody the balls. And until one or the other can, I think the league has to be open to both. I know it's not ideal switching from one ball to another during the World Series itself, but I don't know that the league has a choice at this point.
Well,
I just hope
you're wrong, but my mother Frances told me we're using Fonzie balls.
She goes to church.
And if I learned anything from doing chores as a kid, you don't argue with Frances when she's
He's right. You listen to Frankie all the time.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I don't know. So Rollins is based here in St. Louis, so maybe they'll come here. You guys will come here next year, and Beat Ball will get a sponsorship from Rollins, and they'll make our balls.
I mean, that's nice to think of. I mean, I've been around this game now for closing in on 40 years. Finding somebody, there's been like a half dozen or more people that have come up with new balls and new ideas. But until we find someone that can produce, more than 1,000 balls a year and not charge $200 a ball to do it, like it's not a big business. So Rollins, Wilson, like any big name athletic, organization that makes stuff like that, making 1,100 beep balls doesn't even register on their map. You know what I mean? They sell 1,100 basketballs in an hour. They don't. Our numbers, our demand's not big enough for something like that. I don't think. If I'm wrong, I'll be happy. I'll be happy to be wrong. But in close to 40 years of being around the game, we've been struggling with this ball thing the whole time.
I think with companies, just from a business aspect, when companies send out money all the time. They donate a lot of money. They do a lot of charitable things with their organizations and whatnot. And what we're talking about is not a for-profit type of endeavor. We're just looking for someone to voluntarily, make balls. And I think that's possible. I think it's more possible now than ever. And we just have to market to somebody correctly.
No, and in that kind of a light, I would think it would be kind of a good tax write-off for a big
Exactly.
company. But we've never, at least so far, we haven't been able to establish that kind of a connection.
Yeah.
I was incorrect about not having anything else to throw at you. Dakota, I need to ask you, does Grandma Zilla still got the hots for Neil Dog?
Grandma Zilla.
Ooh, wait.
Grandma Zilla.
Not about Granny?
You talking about Grace?
The grandma that lives in Virginia.
I gotta talk
She
to
likes
Granny
country
tomorrow.
folk.
That's Pampaw.
She don't like
I
Bawb.
got country in me. I got a little
Trust
country
me,
in me.
Neil, you can't compete with Pampaw.
Yeah, Pampaw makes wine.
Can you make
Yeah.
homemade wine?
Man, you guys are out of your head. Grandma, I call her Grandma Zilla. She's sweet on me. The last time your dad was on the show, we talked about at some point, he might have to call me daddy.
No,
Oh,
Just call me daddy. And
Pampaw.
you and Camrie and Tyler gonna be calling me Grandpappy. I'm just saying.
Or from
I mean,
nobody replaced
Hmm.
Grandpa.
I think they were just trying to make you feel good, Neil.
I get a lot of that. I get a lot of that.
I'll talk. He's a Dakota. I gotta ask.
Granny likes her a farm boy.
Yeah, you ain't a farm boy.
I got some twang in me. Is Camrie nearby? Is Camrie nearby?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's babysitting.
Yeah, she's.
I want to ask.
He gave us a bottle.
Shut up and let him talk.
So I'm unclear. Could she hear me or not?
Yes,
Yes,
I
she
can.
can.
Yay. Cam, I want to ask you, it might be a little inappropriate, both of these questions, but one, how much of a pig is Tyler to live with?
Oink, oink.
When he first moved to Philly, I had to train him a little bit. He was dirty,
I'm not dirty.
He's a Hoosier. What do you expect?
but now he cleans.
You raised him well.
Yeah, and he does laundry and cooks once a month.
Now, Neil, you can't see. She put air quotes when she said he cleans.
He picks up after himself now.
Neil, don't listen to her. Don't listen to her.
Oh, I'm going to listen to her. I got another one. When I met you, Cam, I met you and your dad outside of the hotel. I was like, man, where's TY? You'd say he's up in an ice bath, which thumbs up because that shows the commitment. We use on the Dawgs, we took ice baths pretty much every night trying to refresh our legs for the next day. You know the difference between the teens playing on Friday and Saturday and the teens that never get to Friday, because those teens are in the bar on Wednesday and Thursday while you guys are taking ice baths.
I saw the Jets in the bar on Tuesday.
Axe was closing that John down every day.
I will say in his defense, the one time I saw him in the bar, he wasn't drinking alcohol though.
Oh no,
But-
we're just playing.
He said,
But
"Give me
Cam,
some water."
as far as that ice bath goes, I got to meet the Rodriguez brothers a little bit. They're not big guys. Like
Wait. Hold on.
Once Tyler gets out of that ice bath, can you really tell if he's still a boy or not?
Oh shit!
He wasn't.
Damn, Neil.
Well, him and Casey were going back to back in it, so I don't know.
Whoa.
Whoa! Breaking news! Breaking news!
No,
It's called team-
I
it's
went
called
in
team
first.
love.
You had my water. You're like,
I let
You
him
guys
off.
share the same bath water?
well, there was a limited
There was
amount
only
of
so
ice.
much ice. We couldn't get it on the other floor. So
That's-
it's one person, then refill it, and then go again.
That's team bonding.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Confession time. I'm pissed at it.
I mean, Neil, you don't take an ice bath like butt naked. You know that, right?
We did.
I wish I did because
No, you didn't.
I've never not taken one butt naked.
Well,
You wear a bathing suit into the
that
ice bath?
explains a lot, Neil. Yeah, Neil, you're supposed to wear a bathing. You're supposed to wear shorts. Hell yeah.
Man, you really think a bathing suit
This is
gives
off
you
the
any
rails.
warmth?
Oh,
That don't
it
give you no
gives you-
warmth.
Oh, it gives you some protection. It definitely does.
You guys might hear funny about ice
Sorry,
baths.
Johnny Ma.
So in 2000, the World Series was in Taiwan, and we stayed at the Grand Hotel. At that time, it was literally considered one of the top 10 hotels in all the world. It was a really cool hotel to stay at, and on the top floor they had a full workout facility. The whole top, like the 16th floor, I think it was a whole like workout facility, and they separated them. There was a men's side and a women's side, because when you went into like where their whirlpools were and shit, they made you go in there naked. They wouldn't let you wear clothes in there.
We have taken a turn.
But they had like three big pools all right next to each
John
other.
Margis, it was not us. I just want you to hear Neil.
We didn't.
They had three pools right next to each other, hot, medium, and icy cold. And it was icy cold, coldest ice bath I ever had. But the first two off our team to go up there and wander around in their naked were Vic Allen and Danny Fapiano. And Vic is 6'3" and Danny's 5'4". And they're walking around in there naked. They don't know. They're both totally blind. They don't know where they're going. They're bumping into each other, looking for the pool. The people who are up there don't speak a lot of English, man. It was pretty crazy. I went up there with like Mike Finn, Roger, and Eric Mazriegos, and Eric did not want to get naked, man. He's like, nah, the guy that worked there kept telling you, gotta take off. He's like, no, I don't want to take off. But they made him. Yeah, it was wild.
Cole, let me learn something about Cole, about, recovery and stuff like that. Cause, at the OTC, the Olympic Training Center in Colorado, I've been there a few times, and, we do this thing where we do this hot tub, cold tub therapy, the shock therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit hurts. You do like 2 or 3 minutes in the hot tub and 2 or 3 minutes in the hot in the cold tub, and you go back and forth from extremes. And the cold tub's like 52, the hot tubs are like 85. I mean, it's atrocious. But the next day, feel amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean that's I can't speak on ice baths period enough as far as like how your legs can just be rejuvenated going into the next day.
It's cryotherapy. Yeah, cryotherapy.
I didn't even think about that, Neil.
Say that again, T.
I'm gonna have to try them butt naked. I didn't even think about that.
I literally don't believe at all that putting on a swimsuit when you climb into an ice bath gives you any kind of warmth.
Well, I mean, it prevents the ice cube from going up your butt.
Again, John Margis, Neil.
I didn't say that.
Apologize.
Don't put that on me.
I'll put to you like this, Neil. To say it provides no protection in triathlons and swimming in open water. When the water is too cold, they wear a wetsuit.
Yeah, but you're not wearing a wetsuit into the ice bath.
Well, I wear compression shorts, so I mean, I wear swim compression shorts.
It's actually not a bathing suit.
Yeah, I wear swim jammers when I do ice baths. So
what the hell are swim jammers, Nick?
You never.
They're basically swim racing shorts.
Yeah, I know, Nick. I swam. He's never been.
Is it to show off the bulge?
Hey, listen, I was a competitive swimmer for 15 years. I have never heard of them. I wore Speedo.
Yeah, you wore Speedo.
Yeah.
When my first year on the swim team, we only had Speedos, and then everybody started wearing jammers, and my school bought jammers. So jammers are just a Speedo, just a short version.
I've never heard of compression shorts either.
So
what are those?
Speedos?
This is going off the rails.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're gonna wrap up soon. Between coffee all day and some alcohol, man, my old man bladder's got to hit the stop button soon.
Nick, take a shot. Well, no,
go.
Neil, Neil, too many ends.
I just have a bag of cereal sitting in my lap, so that's all I
Take a
have.
shot of cereal.
All right.
The whole box.
Tutti Fruities. There we go.
Where's that Jose Cuervo you mentioned at the beginning of the episode?
Hmm?
The Jose, you mentioned it at the beginning of the episode.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, the Jose Cuervo. You said it was in the fridge.
It's still just sitting there, waiting for you.
Hold on. Cereal and the Jose Cuervo might be terrible. Hold on.
Yeah, no, you don't need milk. Put your cereal, then pour the Jose Cuervo.
Doesn't sound like the cereal suiting you too well. Sounds like cement in your mouth.
No, it was a big. I got big hands, Neil. So.
I wouldn't
Jose
know. I got little
Cuervo.
tiny hands.
What you got-
Well.
what you got Jose in your fridge for? I thought you didn't drink, Nick.
Well, Jose tried to come over the border, and had to detain him. And
Yikes. Yikes.
Are you gonna take a shot, Nick?
I got it in my hand here now.
All right, all right.
I
was getting ready to wrap things up, but I'll wait.
Hold on.
I'm ready.
I'm cheating on Fireball here. Hold on. I can't even open it.
I
Ooh.
have 4 different time zones.
Yeah, shout out Cesar Lascano Steen.
All right, y'all.
Pizza.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
That's
All right. I'm gonna take this. Hold on. Take it to the face. Hold on. It's a whole shot. I don't drink, Neil. So this is gonna be funny.
take a shot with you, Nick. Make you feel better.
If y'all hear me hit the floor, Cam, call 911.
I don't drink.
All right, ready? Y'all taking a shot?
Yeah,
Yep.
I just took
Let's
one.
do it. All right.
We only have one bottle, so you're just gonna
Who has the bottle right now?
Tyler.
Tyler, you ready?
I took it.
Neil, you got yours?
Man, my glass is empty. I was going to,
All right.
but my
I
glass
got
is
you,
empty.
Nick. I got you, Nick. You ready?
Casey,
All right.
again.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Boom.
Fire!
Fire!
Fireball 24, baby.
Yes, sir.
For all the viewership, if you haven't been drinking with us, you gotta start drinking now.
For all the viewership, Steen is still here. I know you probably forgot, but he is still here.
Woo! My body feels all tingly now.
Have you guys been pouring shots or just drinking straight out of the bottle, the three of you?
No comment.
It's just Casey. We share. This is my better half.
Yeah.
Yeah, they share bathwater together.
Back to back.
Those who share bathwater stay together. Who bathing together stay together.
No. Ew.
I don't know what's happening right now.
This team's a bad influence on me because I drink like 3 times a decade.
Coming into this, I was not going to be surprised if you said you didn't drink, because I know, like I follow you on Facebook. I know you're training all the time. I would not have been surprised at all if you didn't drink.
Philly Fire only drinks on Sundays, and it's the blood of Christ.
It's sound.
But you know what I love Fireball because I love hot tamales. I love cinnamon flavored candies, and Fireball tastes like liquid hot tamales.
That's kind of like why I liked it. Like when I first started playing beat ball, I always used to chew big red gum when I was playing for some reason.
Another announcement: Neil Dawgs coming out of retirement and playing for the Fire.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah!
One thing I'd forgotten to say that I've been meaning to say, because I noticed that with all these players that went and joined the Archers, like 3 of the best short right fielders are all on the same team now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking there are a lot of teams out there with a hole in short right
I'll
field.
just say Tyler's the best short right fielder, so maybe the 3 after him.
I'm just saying, like 3 of the top 6 are all on one team now.
Okay,
I think,
better. That's better.
by my assessment.
And to be fair, Nick Mulhern is a better short left than he is short right. And Neil and Nick has played the outfield. He's a damn good outfielder as well. So
Yeah, no, I know these guys.
Hey, the man had 11 putouts in short right. I don't know. That just speaks for itself.
I don't
yeah,
know.
but he had 42 in short left.
I've seen
Years
Nick
ago.
play really. I've seen Nick play really well on defense. So I'm not tripping on Nick. My point is,
One time, I don't always hit like
there are some holes at short right field,
I know.
and my agent hasn't been fielding any calls from any of these teams. I mean, including the Fire. I mean, Ty's been nice for you guys, but he ain't no deal dog guy. So I'm just gonna say, he ain't no deal dog at short right field.
You have open tryouts. You have to come and beat Tyler out for his spot.
Yeah, my number is 317-325-31. Any applicants can call this number. I'll put you through to the big dog Dr. Hogwood.
Yeah, thoracic surgery department.
Gotta see
Big,
play on here.
Speak of the thoracic surgeon.
Yeah.
big shout outs.
Go ahead.
Just big shout outs to Jeff and Pat at the top. Teams aren't, from the top down, teams are only made, made with good leadership. So from the top down, our spotters, our coaches, our pitcher, Big Pat, it's a team game, and
Love Jeff.
we do love Jeff.
Yeah, actually, you just reminded me. I wanted to ask about that, but I do want to put on the record. I've instructed my agent to not take any of those calls. I'm just offended they're not coming in. That's my only point.
We've been calling we've been calling your Gmail account actually.
Hey, Justin, man, talk about your dad being the head coach. We give Pat Krouse a lot of credit, and he's Casey's dad. But you guys got another, and we got that whole Hogwood connection with family stuff. Talk about your dad becoming the coach of this team.
Yeah, no, it was cool. The first year the Fire went to the World Series. I had my dad come out to a practice because I hadn't played baseball in a while, so I wanted him to look at my swing. And then our coach at the time, Gina's dad, Willie Natoli, was like, "Oh, Jeff, do you want to come? I'd come to the World Series. I don't really know baseball super well." So my dad kind of got roped in coaching that way. He kind of that's how he got into it. It's been awesome. Held us together, through COVID and kind of through our rebuild. A lot of the reasons why the team is the way it is now is because him and John for sure, and Gina, back to 2018 through 2021 kind of kept the team together. So that's been great.
I came over for Jeff.
Before you lost your sight and got into b-ball, did your dad do any other sports coaching before that?
Oh yeah, he did. He did baseball and basketball. I did baseball and basketball growing up, and then transitioned into soccer and track in high school. So he coached me when I was younger, but not as I got older.
Yeah. No, it's not like, I guess, not a new thing for him to jump in like that. All right.
They're
No.
playing chicken.
Got no idea what's going on over there. All right. Look, we can hang out. And I got to pour a new drink, but I am going to end the stream and end the show. So before I do that, if anybody has anything else they need to throw out there, now's the time.
Deal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have one more thing to say.
Yeah, man.
Is it like, I'm just throwing some stats out right now. Corey White, he batted .737. Scott, .711. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know Scott had one less point, exact same amount of at-bats, but he had one more put out than Corey White. And Corey got selected top spot for All-Stars. And then freaking Scott wasn't even, he was like thought of, but like way back in the back. I'm just saying, that's ageism.
The Joe Biden effect.
Yeah, the Joe Biden effect. And also, Neil, you say you're pouring another drink? Pour it right now, and I'll take a big old swig if you take a big old swig.
All right, I would have to walk away from the. I mean, we could do that. We don't need to do that on the show. We can end the show and do all the drinking we want. But if you want to take another shot before I wrap it up, man.
I will.
Well, Neil,
Fireball.
I'll just say for us, I'm sure I speak for all our team, but congratulations to you on getting the Hall of Fame, man. We're all happy for you when you got that shit.
Thank you very much. That's
You
very
made me
kind of you.
cry.
I what?
You made me cry.
That's good. I make myself cry all the time. No, shout out to your dad too. Like when I came off the podium from having whatever made my speech, your dad, Fonzie was the first person to grab me and give me a hug, and your dad was the next one. So I appreciated him coming up and giving me some love.
Neil, next series, come find me because I didn't know you were there until like we were leaving to head out.
That's crazy because I saw Cam like on the first day I was there.
Yeah.
I didn't see you one time, Neil. So
Neil,
I thought you were avoiding me, Nick, because I told you before I left that I had a big hug coming your way. I thought you avoided
no,
me.
I
on
do a lot
purpose.
of. I like to hide the World Series. You know, I don't do a lot of socializing.
what? We're on a hot mic right now.
Oh,
I got no idea.
all right. Well, I got one more thing to say. If you
Yeah.
haven't booked your tickets to the World Series next year here in St. Louis, Missouri, we don't. I know it's gonna be in St. Charles, but nobody knows where that is. St. Louis,
Where's
Missouri.
Missouri?
What?
Where's Missouri?
Over there. So if you haven't booked your tickets to the World Series, it's gonna be the hottest World Series that we've had in a long time in this league. And you know, at the end of the day, the Philly Fire will be hoisting the trophy at the Arch.
Yeah, oh yeah.
At the Arch, baby, right underneath the Arch. You're gonna take a big, nice photo, nice professional photo of us hosting the trophy right above, right below the Arch, and right on the good old Mississippi. So
All
everybody should
right.
come on through, including you, Neil. You coming?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there the
Hell
whole
yeah.
time. I'll be there the whole time this time.
I'm gonna sponsor Neil's Airbnb. My business is gonna sponsor your Airbnb.
Nice. I'll take it. I'm a freeloader. I'll take anything thrown my way.
You gotta walk around with my hoodie with a shirt on that says my business name all week though.
I'll do that. It ain't gonna be a hoodie though. I don't wear hoodies in the winter. You're damn sure not gonna get me wearing a hoodie in the summertime.
We'll get your tank top. The whole
I'll
job
wear a
guns.
shirt. I'm proudly wearing my siren shirt right now.
Hell yeah.
All
Big shout
right.
out to Kim.
All right, that is it for this one. I'm gonna wrap this one up because I can't lie. I want to pour another drink and I gotta pee, so it's time to go. But I appreciate each and every one of you joining in and coming on. Thank you, Tyler, for setting this up, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Neil, for having us.
That's
Thanks
what
for
I'm
having
here
us.
for, Neil.
Definitely.
I bring it together.
Have a good night.
Hell yeah. Everybody, we will see you next time. Be well until then.